How's it going, guys? Welcome to the LOWBALL Kingz podcast. My name is Dave Palayo, and this is Collin Hayes right here. And this is a podcast about reselling and how to grow on eBay, and just conversation about growing your eBay business. So today's topic is actually eBay is hiring, and they are paying anywhere from $0 to $10,000 an hour. And but first, before we get into the whole podcast, I wanted to do the giveaway for last video. And to enter the next giveaway, we're doing 2 free 25-item lots every single episode. So down below, all you have to do is comment 3 eagle emojis and you're entered to win. But the winners of last week is Blur, B-L-U-R on YouTube, and David Solone, S-O-L-O-N. And those are the winners, and we're going to ship them out for free, and you guys can resell them. They're electronic lots. So if you guys are interested in entering to win, that's it right there. But yeah, guys, the topic of today, 0 to 10K per hour, eBay is paying anyone that wants to join. And obviously, eBay itself isn't hiring, but you can open up the eBay app and you can start up an eBay account today for free. And you can basically work for eBay in terms of by paying them in fees and stuff like that, and in return make money. I've been able to do about $600,000 when it comes to reselling through eBay and websites and stuff like that. And Collin, how much did you do this year? You think like 550?
Yeah, about 550.
Collin did about 550,000 this year alone on eBay, and probably like 40 hours a week for a whole year, right? Maybe sometimes more, sometimes less, but let's say 40.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty insane how much money you can make. There's people making millions of dollars. There's people making $7 million a year selling on eBay, and they just found out the formula how to get there. We're not there yet, but we want to get there, and that's why we're building like a community here to figure out the formula. We want to get to that level, and we're going to be interviewing people on how to get there. But we're going to have a discussion on how eBay is paying that much. So yeah, guys, the first thing that people usually do when they start up on eBay is they sell the stuff in their house. And they pull out $5,000 worth of stuff in their house, and they sell in the first month because it's hot stuff that they bought at the mall and all that stuff. So it's not a realistic thing. It's not something they can do for a whole year or 3 years. So what do you think about that, Collin?
Yeah, I think that in the beginning, when you're first selling on eBay, most people probably start off by selling stuff around their house to make some extra money, especially if they're having a hard time financially. Then they might start with some items around their house. And I think that's a good idea to get some experience on how to sell on eBay, like how to list an item, ship it, how it all goes, how you get the payment. Basically, it's a good way to get your account set up and all that. Yeah. But in terms of like actually starting an eBay business, that selling those initial items has nothing to do with actually building your business, because once you sell those initial items in your house and they're all gone, then you don't have those anymore. So you're going to have to figure out how can you get some more items, which that's the name of the game, really. And then once you figure out how to get some more items, how can you get some more items consistently? Because once you're consistently getting items, well, now you have a realistic little business going, and you have obviously some connections, and that is going to provide some steady income. But when you are just first selling, items around your house, that's just going to be for like some initial experience, and maybe you could use that as startup capital.
Yeah, and I just made a video on my personal YouTube channel. If you guys click on the title of this, it's at Pelayotech. But yeah, I just made a video on how you can start from scratch. So you guys are watching brand new, like I made a video covering that specifically with starting your account and all that. But yeah, I think it's the best way to start is by selling stuff in your house, because it'll get you kind of learning the eBay platform, how to ship them. It's zero money to start off, and that's the best way to start. And then you get some money, and then maybe that money you can get out of the situation that you're in and invest for the future. But it's a great way to start off. That's the way I suggest people to start off. So we're not knocking people to start off like that. Like, we literally push for that, because you don't want to go and buying stuff and spending your money and being the negative when you buy stuff that you don't know what the heck sells.
Yeah, and it's a good way to start off with zero investment, because that's one of the main things about eBay that I think is extremely great, and it's a pretty rare circumstance that you can go and you can make some killer money. Like, you can make some money that people have to go to school for years for
Yeah.
without doing anything. All you got to do is download the app.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something that should be taken advantage of if you don't have something going on that's probably making you more than like, 60, 70K a year, then eBay could potentially, you could outpace that with eBay potentially.
Let's put it in context, like with let's say if you're buying iPhones used at the flea market or something, and you can literally pay, let's say $100, flip them for $250 if they're older ones, and that's an example of like something with the profit margins a little more slim. We're used to paying more like 20, maybe flipping for 300 sometimes. Sometimes we get really lucky. But that's just an example right there. iPhone literally had to put millions into marketing, billions into marketing, and then buying or manufacturing them, figuring out how to do the microchips, all that kind of stuff in order to get that iPhone on the market. And just years of reputation. Literally all we have to do is go give someone $100 and we have the potential to sell it on eBay for $250 and probably walking away with like 90 profit clear after taxes, after fees, after everything. And we didn't have to really do anything. So eBay is literally amazing in that sense. And someone literally the other day was talking crap in the comments on the eBay fees, and I was talking crap, but they were literally talking crap about eBay. They're saying eBay is just the worst platform. Amazon has all the traffic and this and that. Like, you have to rely on pre-owned items on eBay, Amazon, or stuff like that. Yeah. And I was like, dude, like eBay is for pre-owned, Amazon's for new. You can make a killing in both of them. I don't know why he was talking down on the one or the other. I know there's people killing it on Amazon. I'm good at eBay. I found a way to do eBay, so I'm doing eBay. If they found a way to do Amazon, that's great. I don't see why you can't do one or the other, or let someone else do whatever they want and have a great income.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know much about Amazon at all, to be honest.
Yeah,
but
I don't know much about it either.
I do know that there are more regulations, and I'm pretty sure it's a little bit harder to start, because I did try to start an account a few times, and there's a few things on there that kind of persuaded me to just not do it. But yeah, there are a lot of selling costs on eBay. Like this month, I spent $19,000 on my selling costs, and that includes shipping costs and eBay fees. And it was probably about $10,000 in eBay fees and like $9,000 on shipping labels. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we're paying that so that we can sell the items. Because if I didn't have that platform, eBay, then I wouldn't have sold that to begin with. So, I mean, I could choose to complain about the eBay fees and pay attention to them, but it's not going to do anything but just look at that glass half empty. That's all it's going to do, really.
Yeah. There's and I made a video about how the eBay fees, and literally, like, I have a website. I sell items online, and I'm only able to sell them because I'm getting some traction on my personal YouTube channel, and I send people through that traffic to my website, right? And that's the only way I've been able to sell. When I first started that website, I had like 0 sales because I wasn't getting traction on YouTube. Like, I can't even imagine like making an ad and pushing that kind of product or people to that website and people actually buying something. I'd have to spend a ridiculous amount of money just to get the kind of traffic to send them there. The profit margins are going to be slim just on the marketing alone, not even including on what we're going to pay for the item. Like, and I'd probably have to spend $19,000 on ads just to make like 30.
Yeah.
No, not even. You're not gonna make 30. You're not gonna make 30,000 with 19,000 in ads. There's no way.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of running that by yourself. It's just a lot of work that eBay's already done for us.
They already did it for us.
Yeah,
it's already done. They already spent the billions in marketing, so it's therefore it's just to hop on and do it. And that's their business, and our business is now selling the pre-owned items. So they build a heck of a marketplace for people to sell.
Yeah, we're in the business of reselling items. We're not in the business of
creating
a platform and learning how to market them and all that, because those are jobs in themselves. So if you want to do that, you can try it. But I mean, I like the way eBay has it because we can pay them to do their part, and then we could focus on doing our part even better. So we don't have to worry about all that.
Yeah, it's just going to be a mission. So the next thing I have noted down here is how kind of you can figure out your hourly rate when it comes to the 0 to 10,000. Obviously, some people list much slower than others. Some people have employees. Some people have 10 employees when it comes to eBay, and obviously the hourly rate changes drastically. But let's say you're getting out of that stage where you already sold all your personal stuff. You have some money, and now you're gonna go buy items. Pretty much the way you can figure out your hourly rate is by how much dollar amount you can list into your store within an hour. Us personally, it just depends on the kind of items we get. If we follow the 70-30 rule and we list the 70-30 rule within the hour, I think it can be like $2,000 worth of product that we list in an hour pretty easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
But
that doesn't necessarily mean that
we're going to make $1,000 to $2,000 an hour.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that, because you also got to consider that we also had to pay a price to get the items.
Yeah.
We had to pay a price if we have an employee to help work on them. And then you also have a place where we're storing them, which is the warehouse, so you have to pay for that. So those all take away from that, but that gets you like a general idea.
General idea of the product that's going in there. So if you're working a 10-hour shift and you're listing items and you're shipping and all that stuff, it's really hard to find out exactly how much you make per hour, but that kind of narrows it down because here's the thing, you can list an item today and it'll sell in a month. So it's really, really hard to get the actual hourly rate of what you get on eBay. But I feel like at some point where you're really consistent over months, you got to get a notion of how much you're making per month or per week and all that stuff, and then you go from there.
Yeah, the way that I would go about getting my hourly rate is I would take, I'd probably take the amount that I bring in a day, and then I'll just divide that by the hours that I work.
Yeah.
That'd be the easiest way.
Easiest.
But honestly, I don't really work. Like when I'm working on eBay, I'm not thinking about my time per hour. I'm more just thinking about how much money I'm going to make that day or how much money I'm going to make that month. I'm not really thinking about per hour, but
I think my main thing is I think about the monthly mainly. Yeah. Obviously, we're building for years to come.
Yeah.
And that's like the big goal, but I think I'm mainly looking at the monthly. And it does go day by day, week by week to get to the monthly. But I know if I post my 50 and I'm sourcing twice a week, I'm going to get my 30,000 a month, Yeah. And if I want to increase that, I'm going to probably have to keep doing the same thing, have my employee doing the same thing, and all I'm going to have to do is add another person. But right now I'm really cool with what I'm doing right now. But we'll see. I am going to get a bigger spot in May, and then we'll go from there. But right now I'm really happy with just one person and just going like that. But yeah, guys, you have to figure out kind of how much money you want to make. And the only way you figure out how much money you can even make is by going out there, buying items and selling them. Buy as many as you can with your budget and listing as much as you can. Because some people will probably have a good amount of money maybe laying around, but having a lot of money doesn't really mean much if you don't know how eBay works, if you don't know how to answer messages, if you don't know how to keep your account safe, if you don't know how to list items, or if you can't list items quickly. Because if you spend $10,000 in the first month on a bunch of items, but you don't know how to list, you can only list like 5 a day, then that's going to be a big problem because you're not going to be able to process that many items to make your money back quickly and then reinvest and to buy more.
Yeah.
You're at the point where you're buying items and then you go from there, right? And then you have a consistent way of doing things, and now you can see how you can do the things better. You're listing maybe 5 an hour and you're 3 months in, and now your goal is to maybe do it twice as fast, buy items quicker. Now you know what thrift stores to go to, what flea markets to go to. So now you're moving a lot quicker. Now you're it's really all about finding shortcuts to do the things quicker, and it takes a while to really get it because there's no blueprint when it comes to eBay. There's no way like clear-cut way to do it. There's no copy and paste method. Obviously, people can look at us and kind of get an idea, but I feel like there's no certain exact way to do it. It's kind of just winging it at first, and then over time you figure out, damn, I could do this a lot quicker.
Yeah, once you just shoot the gun, you kind of have an idea of how far out you are off from your target, which whatever your goal is to make, then you can kind of tweak it. Like, if you're pumping out 5 listings an hour, and let's say your goal is 10, well, now you can think about how you can make it faster. What are the ways you can make it faster? Is it making it so like it's just small details, because each listing, it's the same thing over and over again. So it could be something as simple as how much distance do you have to walk from after you take your pictures and list it to like putting it away each time.
Yeah.
Or like how far is the basket that you're grabbing from, or stuff like that. Or
so one thing that I've found out where people probably mess up a lot on when they're listing specifically is, especially with electronics or shoes or something like that, they have the basket here where they're listing, they put it on the table, and they're like, oh, damn, this one has a smudge, or damn, let me just see if this works real quick. And they go to the other table, and they clean it up, or they mess with it for like 15 minutes, and they come back, and then they list it. It's better to like separate everything to where it's all just ready. You're only listing at this point.
Yeah.
You're not cleaning anymore. You're not testing
one
anymore.
task at a time.
One task at a time, one thing at a time. And then, okay, I can clean these items quicker this way. Then you only focus on that. You get your cleaning to a certain time, or, really fast. You get your testing done to extremely fast. You get your cleaning done all at once. So say if you have a bunch of shoes, throw them all on the table. You scrub them all one by one. Quick. And then, you go from there.
Yeah.
But it's better to split up everything, and that's really how you can cut a lot of time from all the extra fluff.
Categorizing and then breaking down the tasks into each individual task. Like I do that too. Like if I'm listing and then I see like a couple items are too dirty, instead of taking them back to the cleaning station and cleaning them, I'll just put them in a bucket, and I know that once I'm done listing all these need to be they need to be cleaned, or they need to be checked again or something, because listing faster comes down to time per item.
Yeah.
And any extra, if your average time per item is 1 to 2 minutes, and you spend an extra 1 to 2 minutes on an item, then you just took double the time.
Yeah, double the time.
So it just comes down. That's true. You have to break down the entire process into smaller bits, and then you can go faster on each one. And then you even have the option at that point to, pass some of the task on to somebody else.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do, if you're at that stage.
Yeah. So right now, I can personally list 25 items in 1 hour when I'm all in and focused, right? But we're not always there. We're not always focused. We're not perfect. Sometimes I'm on my fucking phone, right? Mm-hmm. Like that happens. Sometimes I'm looking at a video. Sometimes I'm watching Family Guy while I'm listening, and I'm not going to be at my 25. But for the most part, you can, if you set a goal for a 4-hour shift, and you can only list for those 4 hours, and then you're cleaning after. It just depends. But we have to be conscious that sometimes we have distractions and try to avoid those, because that's really where a lot of people's time goes. Some people turn a 6-hour shift into an 18-hour shift by messing around and not doing what they have to do in that time frame.
Yeah.
And it goes from the time you go to sleep and the time you wake up, the time it takes you to get ready. It all counts into how quickly you could do it.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Like, if you're planning on, if you have a lot of hobbies in the day, and those could potentially be taken away from the time you spend on eBay, and then once you clock in, let's say you dedicate 5 hours to eBay. Once you clock in, how much of those 5 hours is your attention on the work? Because most people, including myself, there's times during that work period that there's going to be stuff taken away, which a lot of times is my phone, or it could be my neighbors, talking with my neighbors, chopping it up with them. So what I like to do is I'll just make a goal when I start that I'll get this certain amount done. I'll get 50 items cleaned and ready before I even touch my phone or do anything.
Yeah.
Something could happen. Someone could call me though, but at least I try to write something down, or at least have an idea in my mind of how much I want to accomplish before a certain time period.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to have like a little, like after this, it is time for me to go to the gym today. My worker got 84 items in the draft, and he got a bunch of items ready for the website. And that's pretty much done. Shipping's done. We cleared out all the shipping yesterday. What I've been doing lately is knocking out shipping every other day, but all of it at once. Today we're not shipping, and that's usually because it falls in line with my sourcing. But there are times where I do it every single day too. But that way I've been doing it, it's been working really good, and it's still within the 1 to 2 day range of people getting all their items. But that's how I do it right now. Today I'm sourcing, and then all I'm going to do for the rest of the day is getting items ready. But after this, gym, focus at the gym, come back. My food's already here, and I'm just going to really focus on getting like another 70 items ready for my worker, cleaned and prepped for the next day. Because now we're at the point where we're paying people per hour. Yeah. Like I don't want them coming in, and then because now it's $15 for them. That's $15 I'm not getting anymore. Yeah, right?
Per hour.
So I don't want them to come in and I'm like still getting stuff ready for them as they're here, and then they're waiting or they're doing other stuff that honestly I don't want them to do. What I really want my worker to do is list. That's really where the money's at when we make the money. Yeah. So if I can take care of the cleaning and testing to where he comes in and it's like, oh, it's all right there. These are pre-owned. These are for parts. Shipping is this and that. And that's all they do for the 4 hours they're here. That's really where I want to be. I want to get everything ready before they even come in here so that they can only do that and we can maximize the money that I'm paying them. Because the thing I probably dread the most is listing, personally.
Yeah.
I don't mind shipping a fucking slap music. It takes no brain power for that. So I can do that. I can knock out 60 items shipped pretty quickly. But listing, I don't know if I don't want to do 60, 70 items a day listing manually. That's something I don't want to do, so I outsource that. And the way I maximize that is by having absolutely everything ready when they come in, already prepped, cleaned, and ready to go. So that's the way I've been maximizing the 15 I pay them per hour.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they like it when they just come in, it's all ready to go.
Yeah, it's kind of how I do it too. I'll source, ship, and then the rest of the day is just preparing the next items. And I like it that way because a lot of times I can just focus on getting the items very clean to my standard. And then I know that the guy that does my listings or the guy that does my pictures, I know that he does the pictures to my standard also, whereas, cleaning, sometimes it's not to my standard.
Yeah.
That's just kind of more of like an iffy one, but the pictures, it's pretty much the same thing every time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like that, breaking the task down, that helps you pick up some speed and it helps you do what you want to do.
Last episode, you said you're going to test out and see how your worker does with listing manually. Mm-hmm. Did you ever try it out? I forgot to ask you.
I did it. So usually Alex will take 60 pictures, he'll do 60 items per hour for taking pictures, not listings. But then when when I had him do listings, he did, I believe, 35 listings in 2 hours.
Okay.
So that's pretty slow. It was also his first day doing it. It was his first day doing it, but also there's also some mistakes in those listings too. Yeah. So I thought in my mind, I was like, okay, well, I could either have him do the 120 like he was doing, or maybe I could just have him work on this and then maybe we can get it up to like 30 an hour. But honestly, I just like my way. So I was just like, I'm just going to stick with my way because 60 an hour. So that's 60 items an hour that I'm also paying 60 per item.
Yeah.
I mean, $1 per item. So that'd be $60 to Usman per hour.
Yeah.
But then the rate is also just so much slower. So I was debating about it for a while.
Yeah, it is a lot much slower. It's a lot quicker with Usman.
It's a lot quicker. It's a lot less of a headache.
But you got to look at how much items you need to put up a week, because sometimes you fucking put up 500, sometimes you put 200.
Yeah.
I think on the weeks when you are slower, it might be a little better, because 60 an hour, that means in 3 hours you could do all the whole week's worth if you do 200, 250 a week to Usman.
Yeah, that's true.
So then
that's very quick. That's like too quick.
Yeah. So at my peak, when I was sending to Usman, we were doing 180 a day.
Yeah.
And 4 hours, they're fucking they knock out all the pictures. But now I'm listing 250 a week. But it's more picked out. Like, okay, I only want these kind of items on my store. So it's a little different. But but back in the day, in terms of speed, we were doing 180 a day. But now that it's much slower, I think he pictures, he lists. So that's why I've been doing it like that.
Yeah.
But if you're doing 500 a week, like you can't expect someone to fucking list that shit manually. That's insane.
Yeah. Honestly,
you can probably, but it's a lot of work.
Well, I'm spending like $4,000 a month on employee costs, right?
It's not bad for how much you're making.
Yeah. So I decided that if I were to just only have Alex cut out the VA, I could probably save half of that. Mm-hmm. So I would save an extra $2,000 a month. But there's going to be some other things that are going to lack, because I also have, since Alex isn't doing the full listings, he also spends more time on testing. Sometimes even cleans off the items a little extra. There's other stuff that he does. Whereas if he's only doing the listings, I feel like that's going to listings require probably the most brain power out of any of the tasks. So I feel like that's going to kind of exhaust him.
You basically just need someone only listing.
Yeah.
Because I'm shipping, I'm testing, I'm buying, I'm moving, and they only list. When you do, because the way you source, it takes a lot of physical power, and you need to be out there.
Yeah.
So you need the help when it comes to the testing and the cleaning. Like, you actually do need that help. Yeah. It's way different. So yeah, you need someone basically only listing when it comes to this shit, and then cleaning and testing. And then you do this. So you do need that 3-step power,
Yeah.
So whether it's going to be Usman or it's going to be someone else, you're going to need 2 people in-house anyway. So it's kind of the same thing when it comes to how much you're paying, because you're going to need 2 people with how much volume pushing.
Yeah. I just, honestly, I need to spend more time on it, but I realized that what I've been doing has been working for a long time.
No, it's been working for a while now.
It's been working for a long time, and it's $2,000 extra a month, but that's $2,000 extra a month just to keep it the way that I have it and the way that I like it.
Yeah.
So right now I'm just like, I'm going to keep it. Yeah. But I have been thinking about maybe going back, especially if my access to if I can only get a certain amount of items, sometimes I can get up to 5,000 items a month. But if that goes down to 1 to 2,000, then I can slow down my whole process, and I could just cut on costs.
Yeah.
So that's what I plan on doing. I will do that if the items slow down.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you just have that option, and if it slows down, it's okay too, because it kind of goes the same with how much you put into your employees and items. Your sales go up, and it just goes down if you can't get as many items. So it's really it's not the same thing, obviously, because there's more profit when you are pushing out more. But
and plus,
it's both good.
Yeah, and plus eBay is a treasure hunt. So every time you get new items, it's a chance to get something great, get some kind of rare item.
Yeah.
So I am paying a little more, but I'm also buying my way to that next batch of items quicker.
Yeah.
So it's like another chance to get something great, So
yeah, no, that's a move. It's been working for you, like I said, for a while. So why switch it up?
Yeah.
So yeah, now we're at the step where we went on a tangent there.
Yeah.
But the items listed per hour and getting the help. So, obviously, it takes a while to really get a supplier going, to find someone reliable that can get you items, quickly and all that stuff. And the only way to do that is by going out and actually looking for items, actually hunting, actually talking to people. And that takes work. Let's be honest. It takes time and work. Some people can get lucky and they get put on right away. But even if you get put on right away, once you get the items, like I said, you just spend the money. You start to learn how eBay works, treating customers correctly so they don't give you a ton of negative feedback, or you get defects and then you're kicked out. Because we've all actually damn near been kicked out.
Yeah.
Everyone in our circle.
Yeah.
So and that's from learning from each other. We see a motherfucker that in our group that gets booted or something, or they get a ton of defects, and we're like, damn. And then it happens to us. It's And that's because we see it in our circle. Imagine someone that's just on their own.
Yeah, they're gonna have
doesn't know any better. That doesn't see it in front of them.
Yeah, they're gonna have to potentially risk losing their account at some point without having any idea about what's happening or how to.
Yeah. So, like, if you're learning from us and stuff like that, it's a huge bonus because we had a lot of stuff we had to learn the hard way on how to crawl out of like a ton of defects and on borderline getting kicked out. Because when you're just on your own, like, it's just gonna be really hard when you don't have someone to learn from directly.
Yeah.
So if you can learn through YouTube, that's even better.
That's true. Yeah. When I was starting, I was calling up your dad all the time for any little question, like whether that was like how to ship, what do I do in this buyer sending this. I was asking him questions all the time, and if I didn't have access to that, I don't know what I would have done. And another thing I was doing was I was calling up eBay all the time and asking them how they wanted me to handle certain situations with buyers and how they wanted me to do certain things and how I could, because eBay helps you out a lot, honestly, on the phone.
Yeah.
They've helped me out a lot with questions that I have about, about certain rules, about certain things.
I think because you have the concierge, right?
I don't know.
You have to just have us call you. Us call you.
Yeah.
We have that because we have the beer store, which is $350 a month. I know a lot of people. I always get comments of people that are just starting out. They're like, I can't get eBay on the phone. When you're starting out, it's hella hard to get eBay on the phone. I remember back in the day, it used to be actually way harder.
Yeah.
So once you actually have like that $350 store, I forgot what tier it is. But once you have that, you get treated a lot better just because you're paying that and because you're probably bringing in a lot more money. Because every time, like right now, I can have eBay call me within 2 minutes, right? Someone starting out, they're not going to have that same luxury.
Yeah, I think they changed that because back in the day, I was calling eBay all the time with a list of questions I had. But so they must have made an update or something. They might have cut on staff.
Some people don't know how to click on it. You put get help, and if you put like selling fees and stuff like that, they'll call you right away. They'll go, oh, what do you mean by selling fees? And then you ask them what you want. Yeah. But a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, it's a little trick.
It's a little trick. You have to put the reasoning. If you put like exactly what it is, they might be like, ah.
Yeah.
But now, obviously, whatever kind of help that we need, eBay is right there.
Yeah.
And honestly, they're extremely lenient by how many times you can mess up, and they still give you chances.
Yeah, they are pretty lenient, but there are certain things where, they could potentially like shut you down, or at least give you a restriction for a week just for posting the wrong item.
Yeah. No, that's the only thing I don't like is the Veros, because there's a list of Veros, and then there's a ton that still aren't even on there. And you can look at those and avoid those, but you can still get Veroed. Yeah. Like, honestly, that's just especially with electronics, I feel like it's just no. I mean, obviously with clothing too, there's probably a lot of brands that don't want to be relisted. So that thing is just like a Russian roulette type deal where you're just gonna get hit with those randomly.
Yeah, you just gotta learn.
Avoid those.
Yeah, you gotta learn just which ones you get zeros on, and then just don't repeat it.
Because you can't sell what's that brand? Remington.
Yeah.
Like you get flagged for that every time, right?
Yeah.
So you don't put that anymore. I can sell Remington.
Oh, you can?
I've never gotten restricted.
That's hella weird.
I have a ton of it.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. As soon as I post one up,
same town, pretty much a close address.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
That's weird.
Hella weird. So it's just really whatever hand you get dealt with in terms of the brands.
Yeah.
So today I almost picked up a freaking remote. It's called the brand is Spectrum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I got restrictions on those.
Yeah, dude. I freaking hate those. When I saw that, it looked hella dope, and I was like, oh hell no. Get out of here.
Dish too.
Dish and AT&T remotes.
I think Xfinity too.
Xfinity.
Verizon.
Usman cost me a defect.
Why?
Or a Vera, I mean. It said he freaking spelled Comcast wrong.
That's
so like he put Comcast or some shit. But Comcast thought it was a fake one. They thought it was like an imitation that it's close to Comcast, and they flagged
like
me for
some
that.
kind of like pornography type.
No, it wasn't for that. He didn't spell it like that. It was he spelled it.
CIME.
Yeah, it was something like that, right?
Okay.
But it wasn't like the bad one. Okay. But it looked like an imitation.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but it was real. But they just spelled it wrong.
Put a spelling mistake.
And I knew it was them because I look at the description and it says ink frog and all that.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I ended up just deleting every like Xfinity remote. I wasn't even gonna risk it. Yeah. Because you never know.
Yeah, I've been doing that too. Going back and deleting. I got these things I've gotten emails about like several times. It's called Verizon Ellipsis Hotspot.
Yeah, those old ones, huh?
Yeah,
old ones.
I've gotten probably like 4 high priority messages from eBay about this.
Yeah, I got like 2 or 3, and I was like, okay, let me just search up all of them, type it up in my store, and I just deleted all of them.
Yeah.
But it's only the older ones. The newer ones, you're good, but I still deleted the newer ones. Because they always pop up. We always have the chance to sell them. But yeah, they've been cracking down on people for sure. Not AT&T. AT&T is still good because we always get those, Sprint, T-Mobile, and Verizon. But T-Mobile is good, Verizon's good, and AT&T is good. So they're little like hotspot things, and those have been just fine, honestly. So yeah, so the next thing that we can really talk about that cuts into the cost. Obviously, we talked about employees and then how quickly you can list items and buying items. The next thing that kind of cuts into your thing a little bit is where you store the items. If I would suggest people to stay in your garage or in your house the longest possible time that you could stay in there and squeeze out the most money possible. But you do get to a certain point where you grow out of that and you need to get a spot.
Yeah.
And the way I started, I got a 10x10 storage unit. I remember my dad was like, oh yeah, just get a 10x10 and you can store items in there. Bro, that shit was so small. And I had that for like 1 month, and then I got a 1,000 square foot warehouse. And then it was 1,000 square feet. It was 2,000 total, but me and Uncle Danny split it right off the bat. But that was a huge jump. At first, I think it was like $500 a month. I was like, God damn, dude.
For the warehouse down the street?
Yeah, right here. Like that, I remember that was like a huge thing at the time when we did that jump. And I'm sure people are scared to put on that kind of cost. That because its overhead is different when you're just paying rent for your house and then you're making money, and then you take on that because eBay's unsure. It's not a sure thing until you do it for a while. Now I just know what I have to do to make a certain kind of money. But when it comes to when you're first starting off, like it's not guaranteed. eBay's still not guaranteed.
You want to minimize those outgoing expenses, especially until you know you have a consistent income coming in.
Yeah.
Like
when it's been a year and you've just been able to do it every single time, it's like, okay, now you can make a decision like that. But it's tricky at first. Especially it depends where you live. You might be in the Midwest and you can just get a monster warehouse hella cheap in Oklahoma or Utah or Texas or something like that. But here in California, it's not cheap at all.
Yeah, the main reason when I first got my warehouse, the reason that I made the move from the garage to the warehouse was partly because, one, I had no space. So I knew that if I got more space, I could grow and have more items in my store, more stuff for people to buy. And two, I knew that if I got a spot and I had that extra space, I'd be okay because I was pretty smart with my money and I was saving my money. And at that point, I had enough capital saved up so that I could buy all the items I have access to all the time. So even if I got my warehouse at $1,000 a month, and let's say I can buy $3,000 to $5,000 worth of items per month, I knew that I had that in my belt for a few months ahead. So if I didn't have that, if I didn't have enough capital to buy all the items I have access to, and I made that move, that would not be wise because then I wouldn't be able to buy enough items to fill out that warehouse.
Yeah.
But because I knew that I was going to be okay, just because I had already been doing that for 5-6 months at that time. So I knew that there's a consistent trend going. So I knew it was okay to make that move.
Yeah.
But if you don't even have consistency yet, or you're not really sure if you're just going to wing it, I would say probably don't. And make time at least.
Me personally, I winged it. I got it a little too soon, but I didn't regret it because Me, I'm kind of jumping. I'm a guy that kind of jumps in the water, and I just learned how to swim too, which is a good and bad thing.
Yeah.
But me, I feel like I work better when my back is against the wall. But my problem is when I'm on a stone thing, I get too confident and stuff like that. But I work hella good. My back is against the wall, and I feel like I got something to fight against. Or like, you know, like, oh, damn, I got this fucking rent now. Let's fucking work, you know?
Yeah.
But now I'm at the point where that's not even an issue. It's just trying to grow from already being better.
Yeah. No, I get you.
You know what I mean? But I jumped in a little too soon. I had like...
You were in a state where you couldn't even think about anything else but making the money.
Yeah.
Really.
So I was in survival mode. And honestly, that was still good, though.
Yeah.
Because it pushed me and...
honestly, I think that is necessary.
Sometimes it's necessary. It was an opportunity that wasn't going to last, that little spot there.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to be there, so I just said, fuck it.
Yeah, it was a hella good deal.
Hella good deal. And
$500 a month, that's $6,000 a year to potentially have a warehouse to bring in hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
So it does make sense.
Yeah. I mean, you were supposed to split that. I remember.
Yeah. Like, I've been thinking lately, if I get a bigger, so right now I have 1,500 square feet. If I get a spot that's, let's say, 3,000 to 4,000 square feet, that's going to be more than double what I pay for my warehouse cost right now, which would be an extra, let's say, $15,000 a year. But I'd have double the space, so I could potentially double my business.
Yeah.
But it would be up to me, because right now I don't have access to that many items to fill it up.
That's the thing.
So it would be up to me. So if I were to sign a lease, I feel like that would push me against the wall to where I'm like, all right, I have to find more suppliers now. I have no choice. So that's why I've thought about just doing it, even though I know it's going to be a risk. But I know it's going to put me in a state where
it's kind of survival, like, oh, you got that sense of urgency. It gives you that.
Yeah, because the last few months I've had on my list, on my to-do list for the day, it said, call 3 different places or 3 different people that I could potentially have a connection with, where maybe they're sending me 100 items or I'm going to get 1,000 items from them a week. I've had that on my list, but I haven't done it because I'm just so comfortable.
You don't need that.
I don't even need it right now.
It already comes in.
Yeah.
And you're already making your money.
Yeah, but if I was at the point where...
You needed to get the money.
If I was at that point where I need it, then I'd probably make those calls every single day like I'm supposed to.
No one works harder than an entrepreneur that has like their back against the wall. And I mean, some people sink. But me personally, the way when I have like my back against the wall and like I need to do something, there's nothing that can get in the way. My thing is I'm trying to be that hungry when I don't even need it. When I already ate. Yeah, and that's really hard, honestly. I think that's what separates like the fucking monsters from even when people are at a high level.
Yeah, as humans, we like to be in homeostasis. We like to just be
hella
comfortable, just secure, knowing that we're gonna be okay. And unless you have something that's, if you have something that's threatening that, then that might give you that urge to go do something that's abnormal,
Yeah. Me, I like being uncomfortable, honestly. I'm always doing something fucking weird that people are like, what the hell are you doing, bro? Yeah. I'm living in this warehouse right now, guys, if you guys don't know. I'm living right here, and my closet's in my eBay office. And then in 4 months, I'm going to get a 5,000 square foot warehouse. I'm going to make that jump, and I'm going to be uncomfortable again. I'm going to be in a different city, no friends there. And I like that, honestly. I like that fucking being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
My back won't be against the wall, be prepared financially for anything like that, but it's still different. It's still new. And it's going to be a change.
Yeah. And that, just like we were talking about on the last episode too, is that's going to put you in a position to fail really badly, but it's also going to put you in a position to win. Succeed very great. So
yeah. The upside and the downside are... the downside obviously is scary because I'm probably gonna have to pay like $3,500 a month compared to like $1,500 a month. Mm-hmm. But me paying that $3,500 a month, and if I do what I gotta do, it's gonna be a huge jump in what we can make or what I can make. So
yeah, because the items are out there that you would need to fill that out. It's just up to you to making that connection, get your foot in the door.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I'm be excited regardless. Even if I fail, I'll just learn and I'll grow another thick layer of skin, you know?
Yeah, literally.
I mean, I'm 25. I don't got nothing to lose. You know? Obviously, I can lose money, but I don't have like a family to support. I don't got nothing like that to support right now. So right now, it's the time to fucking just attack. And if I fail, I fail. But honestly, pretty confident in myself that it's gonna go good. But I'm just gonna go in there and jump in the water.
Yeah.
Learn how to swim.
The way that I see it is, if there's other people out there doing it, then you could do it.
There's people out there making millions of dollars. Why the hell not us?
Yeah, like
I don't care.
I think I'm like on the top rated sellers. I'm like number 20,000. So then in my head that means there's 19,000 people that are doing greater than me, and so I mean unless they have something in their brain that's just making them way better than me, then I should have equal opportunity, right? So
I think I'd like to get in the top 10,000. I think the last time I checked, I was 16.
You're 16,000?
Yeah, but it doesn't go by sales. I think it goes by feedback.
Oh, feedback?
Yeah,
okay.
They just measure you from feedback.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's sales. But there could be a motherfucker selling $5 items that's just selling 10,000 of those a month.
Yeah.
We could still be making more with better profit margin.
Yeah.
Top rated seller, right? So that guys, I'll link it down below. You basically just type in top rated sellers, and you type in your eBay username, Pelayotech, and you can see where you're rated. I'm 33,900.
Okay.
And my feedbacks are low though, just because I'm only selling like 600-700 items a month right now.
Yeah.
But it's equaling out to 27,000 to 30,000, but it's way less.
Yeah.
So if I just get these same kind of items and I just add one more person to list, it could be a lot higher, obviously.
Yeah. It's not an indicator of who's making the most, but it's an indicator of who's pushing the most volume.
Yeah.
And I looked on the top like 20, and most of them were books, which is funny because like I never look at books, but also those people that had those pages that were on the top, those people that had the stores on the top, they usually had books, and they usually had about 100,000 to like 500,000 active items. So that means, yeah.
Okay, so that goes for next episode. I'm gonna hit this person up that sells books does YouTube. I'm gonna hit him up, see if we can get him on there. I'd like to talk about books.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get people on here that honestly aren't in our niche, so we can learn from them. And so, because we don't want you guys. Obviously, if you guys want to do electronics, you guys are more than welcome to. Mm-hmm. But we want to help people overall grow when it comes to eBay reselling. If we get someone on here that does books, and you guys can learn from some from them, and follow them and learn from them, like that's honestly dope too. Because what if you can't even get electronics where you're from, and but you can get a shit ton of books, or shoes, or shirts, or backpacks. I don't know, bikes. We're gonna get people from all kinds of niches, and then you guys go from there. Yeah, find out what you like the most.
It was weird because when I was looking on a few of those bookstores, the top like 5, I noticed that they were selling their items for like $3.50 with free shipping. So I was kind of confused. Like I was like, like they can't be making more than like $1 per item. Damn. But so I checked how many items they're selling per month on average, like those ones up there, and they're selling about like 150,000 to 200,000 items per month.
Oh my god!
So let's say you make 50 cents an item at that level.
Yeah.
You're still gonna bring in 50 to 100K.
Damn.
So that's a whole different ballgame there.
That's a whole volume thing. That's a whole. I saw this guy that was interviewed that does Amazon and eBay, all pre-owned books, but does volume like 500,000, kind of like literally exactly how you said.
Yeah.
And yeah, he would make like $5 million a year.
Yeah.
5 to 6 million a year just reselling books. And honestly, you could do that with everything. We could do that with electronics. It's just how the hell us personally, we're not at the point where we can get more items.
Yeah, at this point it just comes down to what access do you have to items? Like how many items do you have access to on a regular basis? And the more that we increase that, the more that we should go up.
And Collin and I have thought about opening up a clothing store on eBay. In the past, I could be open to it if I opened up goddamn if I get a 5,000 square foot warehouse and I'm just really at the point where I'm like, damn, I can't really get any more Electronics, I might just open up a clothing store next to it. Honestly, just 5,000 square feet is huge.
Yeah,
It's a monster warehouse.
That's my backup plan, or because I would already done it, but I'm just spending so much time on my current store that it's like if I do that, I know that my sales on my current store are going to go down because I'm going to be focused on the other one.
Yeah, and then we're doing YouTube and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But if I really want to increase the money, because I can get someone, let's say I got a worker doing my 80 a day when it comes to electronics, and I can't get more, let's say. And I'm just at that limit, and it's still like at 30, 35,000 a month. And I'm like, okay, what if I start up a brand new clothing store and I start buying a bunch of clothes? Because out here, bro, we can get tons of clothes, like a crazy amount. We can get thousands of pieces.
Yeah.
What if I were to open up the clothing store, have someone pretty much, because I got capital already to mess around with. What if I get them on here and like, okay, only post items that are $20 and up, everything else we're going to donate. And I teach them how to list clothing, and then they're just listing 80 items a day clothing, and they start off like that, or shoes and stuff.
Yeah,
one section, 1,000 square feet just for clothes. Already have capital. I already have leverage mainly.
Yeah, honestly, it would come down to you bringing in clothes that are. It'd come down to you bringing in clothes that you've already kind of filtered a little bit, because you don't want to pass. You don't want to
bring in a bunch of garbage either.
You don't want to give your worker 100 pieces of clothing, and like 90 of them are garbage. So he just had to filter through all those.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be able to filter through them quickly and figure out what might be okay, and then pass them on.
Yeah.
And that's going to come with a little bit of experience.
That's going to come with experience. I'm going to have to learn it. You know, I know some clothing brands. I'm not like super dumb when it comes to that, but I can learn. I can learn anything. If it's books, I can learn books, you know? Like, it just takes time. I just know it's not going to be an instant success right away.
Yeah.
But it's a whole new ball game, and it's a whole new opportunity too, though.
Yeah, it is.
Because I can have my 5,000 square feet. Because honestly, right here, I'm taking in my offices here. Like, I'm already taking up, you know, a good chunk of my warehouse space. So, like right here, like honestly, like one rack could be something else, or added more stuff.
Yeah, just one little blue rack could be like a whole store technically.
Yeah, technically, because honestly, in these damn racks, they're so tall, and it's 3 rows down. That could be like, okay, on the bottom shoes and this and that. Honestly, like 1,500 items could be on there, and then we could just rotate 1,500 items per month.
Yeah.
And bring in an extra 10, 15. That's extremely possible.
Yeah.
And just paying someone like, I don't know, like 1,500 a month, 2,000 a month, and 15 to 20 maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's still an option.
Yeah.
But we'll get there when we get there. Really.
Yeah. Clothes are ideal because like,
dude,
they're so common.
Yeah.
So common, and people buy them pre-owned. You could just wash them. You could wash probably 50 to 100 pieces at one time in the washer. So the process would be pretty simple, and they're not too big. You could first class mail for a lot of it. So I was thinking, imagine like someone that sells like baseball cards. They could have like 100,000 item store and fit it on one rack.
Yeah. I've seen those people on YouTube where they have they normally don't do the YouTube channel, but people that have the YouTube channel, they go to their spots and they have like 30,000 active listings. And basically with the baseball cards, they have a scanner that they run through, and it takes the picture for like on there.
Oh shit!
Like hella clear.
Yeah.
It's just they just run through it and they make the listing.
That's dope.
Yeah, and it's a whole different ball game too. We don't know about cards. There's so much ways to make money on eBay, dude.
Yeah.
And it's really what you make it. Because I feel like we're not biting more than we could chew right now. Because honestly, it's really hard just handling everything right now.
Yeah, it is.
So adding even more, obviously we want more items, but we're at the point where we're kind of limited to how many we can get. But we're not complaining either. Like, it's still badass what we got going on. But over time, obviously we want to increase how many we can get and increase how much money we make.
Yeah, my way of growing from here on out is I got to figure out how I can free up some of my time from the store. So I got to free up some of my time that I'm working in the store and work on the store. So by working on the store, I can potentially make those calls I was talking about.
Yeah.
And create some new connections. And that's only going to happen if I take myself out of the store regularly for a certain amount of time. So like an extra 2 hours, I will, instead of working on items, I'll pass that work on to somebody else. And now I'll work on making connections and building the store instead of working inside of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And let's say if I were to get to the point where I got this one person running the electronic one, they're probably doing 6-7 hours a day, 2 hours shipping, the rest listing, right? And probably damn near, honestly, 40 hours, doing both. And basically they're gonna have to help me. Okay, clean these, do that, and then post them, right? And it's gonna be the same thing with clothing. Okay, I want you washing all these, and all I'm gonna have to do, or not all, I'm gonna have to be hunting down items every day and spending money every day to get product, right?
Yeah.
Good, profitable product, so they can fulfill that and push that out.
Yeah, and the only way you could focus on doing that is by
having someone.
Yeah, you need someone to take care of those other tasks.
And with 5,000 square feet, I could definitely do that. So that's I think that's might be my goal. Either with more electronics or with adding the clothing store, and it's just going to be pushed, filtered out. With 5,000 square feet, I could put a damn washing machine and a dryer in there, maybe even a couple.
Yeah.
I could do that shit, bro.
Yeah,
this is going to be a lot of space to mess around and try some new stuff and figure out ways to make more money.
Yeah, that'll be dope.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, I'm excited for that. And I'm going to record everything, so yeah, that's going to be dope.
Sick.
So yeah, guys, that concludes the 1 hour podcast for this week. Episode 7 or 6 or something like that. No, 6. Yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are still watching on the Patreon, we appreciate you guys so much. And yeah, guys, we're going to catch you guys later.